Say my dog Tyson wanted to run for office.
He'd be considered an underdog because in his case, he has little to no money for his campaign.
One large donor can fund a whole campaign with just one paycheck.
For an underdog candidate, it can take knocking on thousands of doors just to raise the same amount.
And that's the imbalance, but it doesn't have to be that way.
There's a cross-partisan solution.
Voter Dollars gives voters public funds to support candidates they believe in.
So candidates rely on voters and not big donors.
If you also believe that voters should matter more than money in politics,
go to makevotersthedonors.org and learn how Voter Dollars makes that possible.
I'm Dan McMillan. I lead Make Voters the Donors. We seek to bring Americans together behind a single goal: make voters the donors who fund candidates' election campaigns. This way, when they get to Washington, our elected representatives will actually represent us, the American people, instead of representing the deep-pocketed donors who pay for their expensive election campaigns. In short, we tried to build support among Americans left, right, and center for a public financing mechanism for federal elections called Voter Dollars. And the way this would work is that when you register to vote, you would get an online account of campaign cash, $100 per voter for presidential years, $50 for the midterms. And you can't take this money out and spend it, but you log on and send this money to the candidates that you support. And in this way, candidates who really want to represent us can raise enough money from voters for a competitive campaign, and their opponent, on the other hand, no longer has much excuse for funding their campaign with special interest money. America needs voter dollars today more than ever because campaigns have gotten so expensive. It costs millions of dollars to challenge an incumbent in the House, tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars to run for the Senate. The minimum price of admission to the White House is a cool $1 billion or more. And candidates do not get this money from you or me. They get it from people who can afford to write checks for $5,000, $50,000, $500,000, $5 million or more. And these big donors have become the real constituents of our elected representatives. We, the people, we're no longer constituents. We're a necessary evil. We're necessary because they still need our vote to get into office, but we're an evil because any time they spend with us takes away from their number one job, namely raising money for the next campaign and taking care of their donors. And in this way, candidates' desperate hunger for campaign cash has robbed all of us of our rightful say in how we are governed. But it doesn't have to be this way. With voter dollars, we the people no longer have to be underdogs like our friend Tyson. Candidates will come to us for the campaign cash they need far more urgently than they need our vote, because without that cash, they can't ask anyone to vote for them. You'd no longer have to be a millionaire with millionaire friends to think about running for Congress. We could get people from all walks of life with good ideas representing us in Washington so that everyone's voice would be heard. Maybe we could get a level playing field in taxes and in the regulatory environment between small business and big business. We could get markets that are truly free instead of monopolies and rigged markets that come from big donors and lobbyists writing the economic rules. To make this happen, we're concentrating our resources in 3 presidential swing states, in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. We aim by the middle of 2028 to build enough support that we can leverage the outsized attention that voters in those states get in the presidential contest to put the problem of money in politics and the voter dollar solution on the national agenda. If what I say makes sense to you, or even if it's only halfway interesting, please visit our website and learn how you can help.